What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of NBA to the Galaxy podcast with your host. You can see my man Jeremy, otherwise known as Slim, over here. To my right or my left, I'm not even going to try to figure out the screen layout here. I'm not going to mess that up tonight. You see him over here, over this way. Jeremy, you can find him on X at RTR30111. Myself, Scotty, you can find me on X at Scotty Drown. You can find the podcast channel on X at To The Galaxy Pod. In this episode, we're going to get into the Western Conference standings. If you watched last week, we got into our Eastern Conference projections, and we got to go over basically all of the teams that we have making the playoffs in that said conference. Then we go into kind of surprise sleeper teams from there. Then we finish out with all-star team selections and some stuff like that. But today, we got some current events to cover before we get into to all of that, because there was just a ton of money being thrown around in the NBA this afternoon. A lot of guys getting big contracts. But before we get into all of that, my man Jeremy, welcome back, my man. I'm happy to be on here with you, and I'm excited to get into this conference because it's going to be so much more so much more interesting than the Eastern Conference, in my opinion. I think the Eastern Conference, you have, about 6 to 7 teams that you're sure are making the postseason. And then you have about 3 teams that you're like, maybe they could. In the West, there's 11 teams that maybe could make the postseason, like in the play-in as well, 11, 12 teams out there, depending how you feel about some of the younger teams. But happy Monday, Slim, Jeremy. I'm happy to be back here with you. How you doing, my man?
Yes, sir, my dog. Doing good, man. Can't complain. Opening night is tomorrow. It's been somewhat of a long off season, but we made it, so can't complain about that. Should definitely be an exciting season for sure. And then, like you said, man, this is going to be a very interesting episode. There's no telling how both our lists look from a standpoint and all-star team standpoint, so it should definitely be interesting, but nonetheless excited to do this again, man. It's always a good time, and yeah, man, let's excited to get into it.
We got the season kicking off tomorrow night, right? Tuesday night gets started.
Tomorrow,
and then I know the Sixers start on Wednesday. When do the Warriors? When's their first game?
Wednesday
too. So we'll get to watch our teams on the same night. Hopefully, we get some dubs to start the season. But that's why we're so excited. The NBA is right here. It's about to start. This is our last little prediction segment. And then we're going to be on to actual NBA coverage as the season goes on and gets started here, which I always truly enjoy. But you mentioned it. The Western Conference is very interesting. But I'm going to throw it to you first. I do want to get into some of the big spending, like D-Rab says here in the comments. NBA owners giving out the bag today. The Rockets are spending money. I know you have a little bit of a list of some of the guys that got some contracts today, some of the guys that didn't get that rookie extension or whatnot. If you want to just go through that list, my man, and we can talk about those guys for a little bit here.
Yeah, so guys that got extended out of the 2021 draft class is Moses Moody, Jalen Suggs, Jalen Johnson, Shangoon, Jalen Green, Trey Murphy, Corey Crisper, and what's his name? Jaden Hardy with the Mavericks, I think. Yeah, Hardy, yeah. And those are the guys. I think that's pretty much it so far. Maybe missing a few guys, but I mean, guys like Kay Cunningham, Mobley, Franz Wagner, those guys got extended a while back. So, and
those
all those guys in the same draft class. So.
Did those guys get maxes, like max extension?
Yeah, they got like the super max.
Okay.
Yeah, super max. Yeah,
as they should. They got a ton of talent. I saw like Jalen Suggs. I think he got like 150 million.
And 150.
It's interesting. I mean, it's just where the market is at. I mean, you look around the league, and this is just what guys are being paid. There's a lot of teams that just have to spend money to like fulfill the cap. So you're going to see some of these inflated contracts. It's kind of like what the Sixers did, a little bit lesser extent with KJ Martin, right? We inflated his contract. Maybe we'll be able to trade him down the line because he is at a higher salary than maybe what he is worth. But I'm not saying that's the case with some of these guys that got their rookie extensions out of the way here. I'll ask you this. Which one of those were you most surprised to see? Did any
Most
of them surprise you?
honestly,
Like Trey
hmm.
Murphy, that was a no-brainer. If you're New Orleans, you're gonna
Honestly, I'd
extend
say
him.
none of
Yeah,
these really surprised me. I mean,
Pittsburgh's been solid.
Jalen Green and Şengün, I mean, they had pretty good years last season, so I don't see why not extend them. So, and for us, like Moses Moody, like I feel like that was something we kind of had to do. I don't see why wait anyway.
Yeah.
So,
Do
yeah,
you
but
think do you think
let's.
you would still trade him after giving him like I'm not sure exactly how that works, like after you get the new contract?
Yeah, he's definitely eligible for a trade. I don't know if we'll trade him, although we do have a ton of depth at that wing position. So who knows,
Yeah.
man?
It's hard to say. It is hard to
Yeah,
say
it is
this
hard to
early
say,
on.
but it's a lot of guys. I'm not gonna say a lot of guys, but it's some interesting names that didn't get rookie extensions because today was the deadline. Guys like Bones Highland, Davion Mitchell, Cam Thomas, Josh Giddey, Zaire Williams, and my guy Jonathan Kaminga. So it's interesting to see how the season pan out for those guys. See if they get a pretty nice contract at the end of the season.
Yeah, because different perspectives for each of those guys. I mean, Kaminga, he's gonna get a bag. It's just how much of a bag is he gonna get?
Right.
And he could show out this year. You mentioned it before the pod. It's kind of like Maxey last year. He was playing on a 1 year, the last year of his rookie deal. He goes
Mhm.
out there, makes the All-Star team, blows up in the playoffs against New York, has a great series there, gets a
Yeah.
supermax contract this offseason. So it's usually how it works out. I think Kaminga is definitely going to be worth it once they do decide to go that route. But some other names you mentioned there, Cam Thomas with Brooklyn. That's interesting. Like, is that more on Brooklyn or is that more on Cam Thomas not wanting to be there? Like, I'm curious about that just because
Mhm.
I don't know where that team is going anytime soon. So why not have Cam Thomas be a part of that future? I don't
Right.
know. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's
Josh Giddey
yeah, Josh Giddey. Yeah, that's interesting as well.
with Chicago. I guess with that one, you want to see what it looks like first before
Yeah,
you extend
that
him.
makes
So
sense. Yeah.
I can understand that. Who
And
was the other
then
guy that you mentioned?
Bones Highland, Davion Mitchell, and Zaire Williams.
It's crazy. Bones Highland's value, how it's like dropped.
Yeah, man, it really
It's
is.
it's really crazy. He's on the Clippers, right?
Yeah, he's still in the Clipper. Yeah.
And see, there is some room there on the Clippers this season with the Kawhi injury for him to, have some space to get some minutes finally.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. It's interesting how he's fallen out of grace, since in Denver. But Zaire Williams for Memphis, right?
He got traded to the Nets.
Oh yeah, no, I did see it. No, you're right. We were playing them the other night, and I did see his name there. You are right. So it is interesting. Most of these guys, role players for the most part,
Yeah.
outside of the Cade Cunninghams of the world.
Yeah.
Sengun, he did get an extension as well, I saw.
Yeah.
So obviously not a role player.
And
He's more
even
of a
like Davion Mitchell, he got traded to the Raptors. So there's
what's
a
that gonna
chance for
look
him to
like?
have a pretty good season.
Yeah.
Because
No,
when he
I
went to
agree.
Kings, things just start to go kind of backwards for him in a sense. Like this is a lottery pick, but he wasn't getting a lot of playing time all of a sudden. So
Yeah. Maybe not a great fit with De'Aaron Fox either when you're
yeah,
not, like an elite shooter next to him.
yeah, because
So
he's one
it
hell of a
is
defender.
interesting. Yeah, exactly. And he'll fit in Toronto with that type of, pedigree. I know they like to play defense up there in Toronto. So it will be interesting, man. Let's start to take a look at this playoff picture scenario situation out here in the Western Conference because I do think it's going to take a long time to get through all of these teams and discuss these guys. So let's get to it, bro. Let's get started here. I wanna throw it to you first here, and I want to ask you a sleeper / surprise team. We talked about it last week. I had who did I have in the Eastern Conference? Why am I thinking?
You had I had the Hornets. I think you may have had the
I had the Raptors. Why? Yeah, why is it slipping my mind?
Yeah,
We're
the
just
Raptors.
talking
I was
about it.
finna say the Pistons for a minute, but I had to.
The Pistons. I thought about. I brought
Yeah,
that up,
but
and I
I
think
don't
we
even
both.
want. I
Yeah,
don't
we
even
don't need to
want.
go
Yeah,
down that
please.
rabbit
Yeah,
hole.
we not doing that, bro. No, man, we not doing that.
Yo, Martian, what's good? Welcome to the show, man. We've been waiting for you. We got
Hey,
D-Rab in here.
what's good,
Got
man?
STT Sports Network checking in. Some money got given out to some young players today. Yeah, no, that's
For sure that, man.
exactly what we were just talking about. Yeah, the maxi contract was after Paul George, Caleb Martin, so it kind of went under the radar because it happened later in the
Yeah, but
offseason. It happened
it
after
was
free
kind of a
agency.
no brainer situation. You know they was going to give it to
Yeah,
him, so
you knew it was going to happen for
it
sure.
just was like a matter of time, like when it was going to happen.
What up, twin? And then we got D-Rad. Yeah, I love when the guys interact in the comments. That's great. Keep the community close here. But thanks for checking into the show, guys. Be sure to hit the like button. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed, of course. But let's get into the Western Conference, man. Sleeper, surprise team. Who comes to your mind first in the West?
The Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets, man. I love the way they ended their season last season. They won a lot of games, and as well as the addition that they added this past offseason, adding Reed Shepard, brought in vets like Steven Adams. I
Yep.
think this would be the year that Jabbar Smith Jr. and Tari Eason coming to their own as, as far as like more of a scoring punch, like and Fred
Yep.
to the fight, helping the team out. So yeah, but that's my sleeper team, man. Like I said, I love what they did to end the season, and yeah, they got some nice vets over there, nice head coach, and just a nice group of players over there. So yeah.
The reason I laugh and I smile is because I have the Houston Rockets for that same surprise sleeper team as well. So maybe they're not a surprise or sleeper team. They are
It
though,
was,
because
I
they are
mean,
they're plus. I got all the odds written down of these teams to make the playoffs. They are in the bottom four of the West when it comes to odds to make the postseason. So they are a sleeper team. I'm just joking when I say that, but for all the reasons that you listed, man, they have. I don't know if they have like a ton of like top end like elite talent. Like we got to see what Jalen Green is. Like is he at his ceiling right now as far as the caliber player he can be? You mentioned Jabari Smith. Can he get to another level? Tari Eason, can he get to another level? You got guys like Fred Van Vliet there who obviously come with a lot of experience, championship experience. You mentioned Steven Adams, Jeff Green played some quality minutes for them last year.
Dylan Brooks, Cam Whitmore.
Dylan Brooks, yeah, Dylan Brooks. As much as I'm not like a fan of his, he was a great addition for them. Like he's a solid player, and he gives them a little bit of an identity. But they have such a deep roster,
Yeah, I
bro.
just thought about it. Yeah, they are deep. Yeah,
Like
they really
down
are.
the line, because we haven't even talked about guys like Jayshawn Tate, Amin Thompson, Cam Whitmore, and these are all guys that contributed last year for their team as well, and they brought
Right,
in more guys. So I think they could be a very competitive team. They're going to be young, so it'll allow them to kind of progress through the season a little bit better than some of the older teams.
right.
So yeah, I do like Houston. I'll throw another one to you and let me know what your thoughts are about this team. But the San Antonio Spurs, how do you feel about
Mhm.
them maybe making the postseason play in? Like, what are your thoughts there?
I ain't mad at that. I mean, we know women going to take another leap, and adding a guy like
Yeah,
Chris Paul alongside him is just going to make his job more
I'm
easier.
excited for that
And as well as a
duo.
guy like Harrison Barnes, he still got some good
Yeah,
years in him. He can score the ball, rebound, he can shoot. So you add all that, plus what they already had guys like Vassell, he's still on the team, Keldon Johnson.
yeah,
Still got Greg Popovich, one of the greatest basketball minds ever. So I ain't mad at that. That is kind of a sleeper team, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they, somehow made it to the postseason. So.
yeah.
And
That
then you also got to keep in mind they got a lot of pieces over there to make a move. You know.
Martian says he thinks he'll be number 7 in the West, which
Mm.
I'm not completely against that idea. Like it's possible, but I think that's what we're talking about coming into talking about the Western Conference. I mean, there's Houston, for example. I'll tell you right now, I have Houston down at number 9 in my playoff seating right now, right?
Yeah.
They could be higher, bro. Like they could be higher than that. They could be lower than that. Like I think that's the variance that we're going to see in the West this year. It's hard to predict where these teams are going to finish because you got a lot of competition out there. But Spurs will be number 7 in the West. I do kind of like. I just like it. I like taking that shot in the dark, man. Spurs are plus 360 to make the postseason this year. So you'll make a little over triple your money there if you lay that down. But yeah, I like the Spurs for that reason. I wrote them down along with the Rockets. Rockets are my official pick, but wrote down the Spurs just to kind of bring a different team into the picture here. And the question I wrote down was, how great can Victor Wembanyama be in year two? Like, how much can he elevate his game just in one off season after his first year in the NBA? Because you look at his numbers last year. I want to get him pulled up here just to be on point. He played 71 games last year, 21 points per game, 10.6 rebounds per game, 4 assists per game, 1 steal per game, 3.6 blocks per game, and 1 turnover per game. How much better can he get in year two? Because that's pretty damn good for year one. Like, what is his ceiling? What is his ceiling in general is a free question in itself. But what could he look like in his second year? Just the second year.
Man, all I can say is that the league better watch out because I mean, like the stats that you just named to be that tall and averaging those numbers is just crazy, man. Like, and he's only going to get so much better. That's the scary part. Like, he's just going to get so much better. He's going to break a ton of records
Yeah.
this upcoming season, and
The blocks. I mean,
the assists. If I'm not mistaken, didn't he have like a 5x5 game or something like that? I believe so. Yeah.
I want to say he did, bro.
I think he did. Yeah, I really do. I think he had
Because
one.
what,
Yeah.
like five blocks, 5 assists, 5 like
Yeah,
is
five
that's what you
steals,
mean,
five
right?
blocks,
Yeah.
5 steals, 5 blocks, 5 assists, 5 points, 5 rebounds. Yeah.
Golly. That just the fact that he can do that is
Yeah, to be
something
that
within
solid,
itself.
man, it's just like,
If he can increase the shooting percentage a little bit from the 3-point line, he'll be literally unstoppable. He shot 32% last year, which isn't horrible for his size by any means, but
yeah,
um if you can increase the efficiency a little bit there. Like Devin Vassell, I think let's see what he can turn into, right? With another year beside Wemby, next to CP3, a great passer. I do like what Marsha said about that as well. Chris Paul going to lead the league in assists. Yeah, it's possible, man. Like we know the type of technician that Chris Paul is. We know the type of passer that he is. It's very possible that he could lead the league in assists this year, depending on how much he's playing, right?
yeah. I was just gonna say, I don't know if he'll be playing a ton of minutes.
Because they
Yeah,
have guys behind him, and that's
yeah, like guys like
the other part I'm excited
what's the
for.
rookie name? What's his name? Castle.
Stephon Castle from
Yeah,
UConn.
Castle.
I
Yeah,
like that boy, man. I
yeah.
think he's gonna be nice for them. I think he's gonna be nice. Who's the other
We
guy?
still got Trey Jones. Yeah, Trey
Harrison
Jones.
Ingram from UNC. They still got Trey Jones, Devin Vassell, Victor
Zach
Wembanyama,
Collins.
Blake Wesley. Yeah, Zach Collins still there.
Malachi
Malachi
Branham.
Branham.
Yeah.
Yep. And then Harrison Barnes, who you mentioned earlier as well. So Keldon Johnson. Yeah, so they have some talent there. It's just stacked West. What does it look like pinned up against some of these other teams? And I did see Martian had a comment here. What was it? Can't remember where I saw. Oh, here it is. Yeah. Y'all got the Spurs ahead of the Grizzlies. I honestly don't think the gap is that wide.
Yeah, we're about to dive into that right now, man.
Man, this is gonna be interesting, bro. This is gonna be interesting. I'm not even gonna dive into that just yet because we're gonna get into the rankings. Let's get it started here, man. Let's start with number 10 down at the bottom. Who is your 10 seed in the West?
The Los Angeles Lakers.
Wow.
That's what I got. Yeah.
My man D-Rab isn't gonna like that.
The off season, they didn't really do anything that just impressed me. Like, they basically running it back. And if I'm being honest, bro, like, I don't want to sound like a hater when I say this, but bro, every time I watch a game and I see Gabe Vincent shoot, I swear it's like he finna fucking miss. It's like he not finna make it, bro. Like every time Gabe Vincent shoot the ball, it's like he's just going to miss. And you have guys like that coming off your bench alongside Christian Wood, Brandon Bill. It's just not enough to compete in the Western Conference, not by any means, man. So Hey D-Rab, hey, I told Scotty, I texted him this morning, I say, hey, bro, I'm gonna be biased. I'm not hating, man. I'm just speaking the truth. LeBron getting old. LeBron and AD, they're gonna get theirs. It just can the
Yeah.
others, can Austin Reeves, Roy, D'Lo, those guys, step it up, which I don't think they have enough, man, to compete.
I mean, what about Connect Four though? I mean,
Yeah, I like the Rook, but it's not enough though.
it's not enough, right?
It's
To
not
rely
enough.
on a rookie.
It's not enough,
Like,
man.
is he going to be their sixth man off the bench scoring? It is interesting. Maybe he can be that good early on in his career. He said, "You're going to eat them words, bro."
Hey, bro, it is what it is, man.
Martian said, "Slim on that euphoria hate. I hate the."
Yeah, chill out, man.
Why are they going in right now,
Yeah,
man?
wow, bro.
This
It's
is
wild.
funny
Hey,
as hell.
the West
But
loaded, so.
number 10, bro, I ended up going with the with the New Orleans Pelicans. And I felt bad about doing this, man, because I'm somebody, obviously, I'm a big Duke fan. Zion, like I love Zion. I love Brandon Ingram. I love all them Duke boys down there in New Orleans. I'm a big fan of Trey Murphy, man. He just got his extension today. That was a guy that I wanted to look at maybe trading for. But the main reason I have them at number 10, it isn't because of talent. It isn't even because of fit and depth that they have on their team. It's because Zion needs to stay healthy. CJ McCollum needs to stay healthy. Brandon Ingram's got to stay healthy. All of these guys got to stay healthy, and these are all guys that tend to struggle doing that just by the trajectory of their careers. Zion had a little bit better of a season last year health-wise, but you still got to see it all come together, and it's just not. So I am a little skeptical of the Pelicans just strictly because of their health out there in a stacked West. And I just think that there are some other teams that will make the jump this year that I have my eyes on. So I went with the Pelicans here. I feel a little bad about it.
Yeah, I feel that,
Oh, chill. You talking about the white dude. Hey, and Martian, I'm gonna glaze Duke any chance I can get. Pause, right? I'm gonna do it at any chance I can get on this show. I'm gonna glaze Duke. It's gonna happen. Trey Murphy is not the white dude, though. I know exactly who he's talking about too, because I think he used to play for the Warriors back in the day. It was like this taller white dude. He could shoot the three ball. He could rebound.
Not Chris. Is it Chris Mullin?
It wasn't. It's not that far back. It's not that far back. It was more like Monte Ellis, Warriors days. Yeah, yeah. Baron Davis. Yeah, those days. So.
Oh, you talking about? I think I know you're talking about, man. I know you're talking about.
I think his name was Trey Murphy. I'm pretty sure. But we're talking about Trey Murphy the third, though. Just to be clear.
Yeah, Trigger Trey.
Trigger Trey. I like that. So I went with the Pelicans, man, but I do feel a little bad about it. But who do you got at number 9 though? Talk to.
For me, man, I got the Houston Rockets coming in at number 9. I don't really have to dive into too much detail, but this one got coming in at number 9. I think that. So this would be like the play-in tournament. I think ultimately they'll end up winning that first game. But the way I got it set up now, it'll probably be a huge test for them if they were to advance to play the other teams that got ahead of them. But I think that they make some noise this year for real. I really think that this is the year for them.
Yeah, no, I do agree. Obviously, I told you earlier I have them at the 7th seed too. So now I get why you or at the 9th seed, excuse me. I get why you laughed at me earlier, Slim, because we have them in the same exact spot here. But I do like the Houston Rockets right here as well, for all the reasons that we listed earlier. And like I said, I could see them maybe getting up to the 8th to the 7th seed. It's possible. It's possible.
Yeah,
we just got to see how these guys develop. Got
a lot of back-to-backs.
Correction in the comments here. It's Troy Murphy. That's my bad. I took it and ran with it. It was Troy Murphy. That sounds a lot more like it. I just remember he had like a big ass nose. That's all I remember. On the video game, he had a big ass honker, dog. But it was all good. He could shoot the ball for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Houston Rockets, man, I could see them going anywhere from 10, 9, all the way up to 7, 6, 6-ish. But above that would be a little bit of a surprise for me there. But yeah, I like them to push their way into the postseason somehow, honestly. Who do we have? Who do you have at number 8?
So for me, coming in at number 8, man, I got the New Orleans Pelicans coming in at number 8. Like we talked about, they just extended Trey Murphy. I like that team. They got a lot of shot creators, playmakers, guys that can shoot the ball. A lot of different skill sets surrounding around Zion, but it definitely concerns me as far as like the center position. I mean, they do got a rookie. I think his last name is Missy or something like that. And then they also got Daniel Tice. So from a few reports that I was reading, I think they plan on going small ball. I guess that would mean putting Zion at the 5, and then
Interesting.
Ingram at the 4, Murphy at the 3, Herbert Jones at the 2, and then DeJounte Murray at the 1. So we'll see how things go. This should definitely be an interesting season for them. As well as they still got guys like Jose Alvarado. I like the rookie they got from UConn, Jordan Hawkins. Well, he's not a rookie anymore, but
Yeah,
the
second
rookie,
year.
yeah, second year, Jordan Hawkins. And yeah, I think that this is the year. We seen what Zion can do, man. Just a matter of health. In the play-in game last year against the Lakers, I mean, what a game that was! Like that brother was getting it done on both ends. He was locked
Yeah.
in. It just sucks to see that a player like that always, something comes up, whether it be an injury or whatnot. But yeah, that's what I got coming in at number 8, the New Orleans Pelicans, man.
He played the most games in his career last year, so I will give him
What
that.
it was like 72 games.
He played 70 games in the regular season.
Okay, 70 games. Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's pretty
and then
good, man.
postseason, averaged 23 points, about 6 rebounds, 5 assists. So yeah, he covers the score sheet, of course. Who would your starting lineup be for New Orleans? Who do you think?
I think they'll probably start off with Zion at the 5, man. Zion at the
Interesting.
5. Shit, man. I guess you would do it. Ingram at the 4, Murphy at the 3, Herbert Jones at the 2, and then DeJounte at the 1, and then you would have CJ to come off the bench.
Off the bench.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I like
But
CJ
the
as
way
a
I
free
look at it
throw.
as well is that they could really make a move because they could trade CJ, flip him for a big or Ingram.
Yeah, I
If they
think
can't get like a contract extension done or something like that.
I was gonna say I think I would move Ingram before CJ just for financial purposes. Is why I thought that, but Ingram younger, probably better player for sure than CJ right now. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what New Orleans does. I do think they need to shake up the roster
Yeah,
somewhat. They got to try something different.
yeah, it
They
is.
tried with the DeJounte, and I think that was a start. I think you got to add on to that and keep trying to add to this roster.
They got to get them a
So
center, man.
yeah, that is true, man. Obviously they had what was it? They had
Daniel Tice and the rookie.
who's the guy they lost? It's slipping my mind.
Valanciunas. Yeah,
Yeah,
Valanciunas.
Valanciunas. Yeah, he went to Washington this offseason, so they lose him. So it'll be interesting. You did mention their rookie center, Missy. See if he can get some minutes early on. But yeah, no, I'm not mad at it. Obviously, I had New Orleans at number 10. But number 8, I had the LA Lakers. So I put a little bit more respect on the LA Lakers here. Hopefully Darius isn't D-Rab isn't too mad at me in the comments there. But yeah, it's LeBron, it's AD. It's like they're going to be in the playoff picture. I do agree with you though. They didn't add much. Like I do like the Dalton Connect addition in the draft. But are you gonna ask him to like come off your bench and be like your 6-man scoring punch? I don't know. Like Austin Reeves, is he gonna? We'll see. But I don't know. They just didn't do enough this offseason to kind of correct some of the deficiencies, and really, it's depth, right, or lack thereof. Because LeBron's gonna miss some time here and there. He's older. AD's gonna miss some time here and there. So it's more about depth. It's kind of like the Sixers in a sense, like having to survive the regular season while Joel Embiid's going to miss some time, right? Like that's going to happen throughout the season. You got to survive it.
Which is
It's
why
just that the Lakers are in the Western Conference.
Yeah, which is why like y'all getting Andre Drummond, that was a huge pickup.
Exactly, yeah, so that he can fulfill those minutes whenever Embiid's not there. So That's what I would have liked the Lakers to have done. The other thing with the Lakers, man, is how how many opportunities will they have to where they can like improve their team, like through a trade? Because I just don't know, how valuable some of these guys are. Like maybe D'Lo, I guess he would be the guy you maybe try to flip for something else to
Yeah.
better your team. I don't know, like that's what I mean. I
No, I
just don't
feel
know
that.
how exactly they can get better than what they are or what they were last year, even. So I went with them at 8 out of respect for LeBron, out of respect for my man D-Rab. He says they're not going to miss the game. Interesting.
Mm.
I hope for it. That would be a blessing for sure. Rui, yeah, we did skip over his name. That's a good call out. Rui Hachimura. See what he's got. But yeah, the Lakers, I don't know. I'm not super down on them. I'm just not super high on them compared to the rest of the West, I guess. Um, but yeah, who do you have in number 7, Slim?
Um. Wait, hold up, so.
Did I skip
Damn.
a number? Did I mess up?
That's what I'm trying to see. Where you got the Lakers at 8?
Yeah,
So did I say my number 8?
pretty
Oh no, I
sure.
didn't. No, I didn't. For me, number 8, I got the Grizzlies. I had the Pelicans at
At 9.
9. Yeah. So I got the Grizzlies at 8. I think that's right.
Houston.
Houston was at 8
No, Houston was at 9.
for me.
Yeah,
So nah.
Houston was at 9 because we have them in the same spot.
Okay. And for you, you got the Lakers at 8.
Yeah, so right now I have Pelicans at 10, Houston at 9, Lakers at 8.
Okay. Oh shit! I just thought of myself. I messed my list up, bro. I started wrong, bro. Because I got 11 teams down here.
I got you. So these
Okay.
are it's kind of like your like an honorable mention in a sense.
Yeah. So,
I got
damn.
you. So just so reordered. So are the Lakers the odd team out then?
Yeah,
Is that what that is?
it is.
Wow.
They
Wow,
the odd.
LeBron and AD not making a postseason.
Yeah, it won't be the
Not even a
first time.
play-in.
It wouldn't be the first time, but yeah, man. I just got other teams over them, man.
Yeah, younger teams. I
But
feel
okay,
it.
so for me, I got the Rockets at 10, Pelicans at
9.
9, Grizzlies at 8. Yeah.
Grizzlies. Talk to me about the Grizzlies because I'll tell you now they're not on my list.
For me, man,
I might be sleeping on them.
I'm high on the Grizzlies. Ja, he's locked in. He's motivated to have a big year. Marcus Smart, Desmond Bain, Jaren Jackson, Zach Edey, Gigi Jackson, uh, Luke Kennard. They got a nice team over there, man. So yeah, I'm very high on them. When they was all healthy last year, they did go on a nice win streak. I think it was like 5-0 before John Moran got injured or something like that. But we actually could see like how Marcus Smart, and Desmond Bain looked together, and they looked pretty nice in those
Yeah.
games. So yeah, man. They also like them adding a rookie Zach Edey. Like I'm not saying he's going to put up outstanding numbers, but I like the addition to that team, man. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I saw Job working out with him in the
yeah. I'm not
offseason.
going to necessarily say like the grit and grind like the Tony Allen and Zach Randolph days, but it could be something similar like that. They definitely had the potential to be like a top 5 defense in this league. So
Oh yeah, yeah,
uh,
100%. And they added Cam Spencer in the draft from
yeah,
UConn.
I'm trying to see if I miss anybody else because I know they had Gigi. Oh, I like Vince Williams. Yeah, he's a nice guy
Yeah,
too. He can shoot the ball and play defense.
Aldama's tough and
Yeah, he still
physical
got
too.
Adama. So yeah, man, I got to show love to the
I
Grizzlies.
think I think the Grizzlies like broke my trust. I think that's like what happened with me and the Grizzlies. I was super high on them, right? Before
Mhm.
all of this job drama happened. Now I look at them and I'm like, man, what's Ja gonna look like? I expect him to come back like all-star-esque type form. I expect him to come
Yeah,
back in hoop. Don't get me wrong there. Desmond Bain, I think he's gonna maybe even take another step this year for all we know. Um, Jaren Jackson Jr. already with the hamstring tweak. That does
Yeah,
bother me a little bit.
they had a lot of things because Gigi Jackson, I think he broke his leg. He broke something, but he's going to be out. And they were just having a lot of Vince Williams as well. He injured
You are
himself, so
right.
it just it's like they're kind of cursed in a sense, you know. But
Yeah, it's like if they can be healthy, I do feel you. I think they belong in the playoff
they're a fun
picture.
team, man.
I think they're them and the Pelicans. I must have like took that into account heavily this season because um looking at Memphis out, they got talent. It's not that. It's just my trust in them being there when it matters. And
Yeah, I
it's the
feel
same thing with the New Orleans Pelicans. But maybe I'm penalizing them too much for, just previous mistakes. They were kind of outliers, right? Like Ja, is he going to get in trouble like that again and miss a borderline an entire season? Like I would hope not. I would hope he has his head on straight at this point. So we'll see what Memphis has got, man. So I'll take the lead here because we kind of got out of order with the numbers a little bit. But you had so you had Memphis at 8,
yeah.
Pelicans at 9,
Mm-hmm.
Houston at 10, right?
Right.
Got it. And mine is Pelicans, Houston. Pelicans, Houston, Lakers. And now we're at number 7 where I'm going to go with your Golden State Warriors. I think that the Golden State Warriors this offseason, man, they kind of, I don't want to say they did something different, but the team just looks a lot different. Obviously, Klay Thompson leaving the scene creates a lot of area for guys to step in and have new roles. And I think the Warriors, they went out and they added more in quantity rather than, I don't want to say quantity over quality because these are still quality players. I don't mean it like that. They
Yeah.
just didn't go. They lost Klay Thompson. They didn't go and replace him with one player. They went and replaced him with multiple players. Is what I'm trying to say here. And I do like those additions. We've talked about the Buddy Hields, the Kyle Andersons, the D Melts. We've talked about the ascension of Jonathan Kuminga, Pods. What does he look like this year in a more solidified role? Moses Moody in a more solidified role with more minutes. Like, what do all of these guys look like? And I think that's something that the Warriors have going for them this year. And it started last year with the youth movement, but they have a lot of like young upside mixed with Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Greens of the world, right? So I think they have a great balance of youth, experience, and then obviously Steve Kerr at the helm.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah. So I see where he's going with this. But hey,
30 games,
he is
he's
a
got them
Lakers.
out.
He a Lakers fan, so it ain't just much love between Lakers fans and Warriors fans. So hey, it is what it is, you know. Hey,
That is hilarious. That's hilarious. But yeah, I got the Warriors at number 7, man. Your Golden State Warriors. I think they have a solid season ahead of them, man. I think it'll be better than. I don't know. Am I down on them or am I high on them? What do you think about that? Having them at 7.
it's you're about right. You know, I'm not going to get too ahead of myself and just say that
Yeah.
they're a top 5 team. That's just about right because we are banking on a lot of things to kind of happen. So yeah, that's about right.
Got to see it play out first. D-Raz said it's all love. So that's good. Who do you got at number 7, man?
All right, man. So for me, coming in number 7, and I'm actually high on this team. Trust me when I say this. It's the Sacramento Kings. When they went out there and got DeMar DeRozan, a lot of guys was kind of out there saying that it wasn't a good fit or things like that. But I actually love the addition. I mean, this is a guy. This is the type of player that allows De'Aaron Fox to play off the ball. Over the years, De'Aaron Fox have improved his shooting from all aspects, whether it be free throw, mid range, 3-point shooting.
Yeah.
So you had a guy like DeMar DeRozan, you can allow a guy like D Fox to play off the ball. We all know that DeMar DeRozan loves his signature mid range. It's like an automatic for him at this point. He can make that shot with his eyes closed. So when you add a guy like that alongside guys like Sabonis, Malik Monk, Keegan Murray, and you still got guys like Keon Ellis, Kevin Hunter, still got these guys, Trey Lyles. So I like that team over there. They could definitely build something nice over there in the Western Conference. And yeah, I mean, although I do have them at number 7, I still think that they are a pretty nice team. They can compete with, the top teams in the West for sure. And as well, they still got Mike Brown over there. And
Yeah,
from what I've been saying from preseason, Sabonis has been shooting more jump shots. Because over the past couple of years, I haven't really seen him shoot a lot. So I
yeah.
guess that's something that
He's
they've been
needed to
kind of,
work on that.
yeah, I guess this has been something they kind of been working on this past offseason. Just, him be more aggressive so he can be able to stretch the floor and things like this. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, it's interesting. Where would you say where would you have their ceiling? Like what do you think is their highest seed that they
Oh,
could
easily.
possibly
I can see them make to the Western Conference Finals easily.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I do. I'm with you. I got the Sacramento Kings at number 6, so I'm not like arguing against it by any means. I
Mhm.
do actually. I didn't love the DeRozan signing at the time, but I've grown fond of it. Obviously, I've watched some pods over the summer, so maybe that's just seeing where his mindset is at going into the team. Maybe that's kind of changed my view on it. But I just think adding some experience to that roster, along with De'Aaron Fox, to kind of run the show with him, just so he's not so doesn't have so much weight to carry throughout the regular season and throughout the
Yeah.
playoffs. Like having somebody else to lean on. And Sabonis too. I shouldn't like leave him out of that. Like take some weight off both of their shoulders. And having another guy that can create and get his own bucket. So I do love the DeRozan addition. And I just like the evolution of this De'Aaron Fox, just his evolution throughout his career. I think he's about to have another great season, take it up even higher level from last year. And I think him and Sabonis, you talk about Sabonis like trying to space the floor more and work on his jump shot. I think that's going to be huge for them because if he can add a 3-point shot, like a legitimate 3-point shot to his game, Sabonis is borderline unstoppable in offense. His post game is complete. Like he can do everything on the block. He rebounds up there with the best of the league. Obviously, we can see that by the numbers. So just adding that range is going to make a world of difference for him and the Kings. It's going to make them a better team as well. So I'm excited for this team this year, man. If they can stay healthy, maybe you can flip 2 bottom guys, for a better rotational player. Maybe you can add to this roster. Maybe you can flip Kevin Horter for something valuable. I don't know. Like I'm just they have options, and I think that's always a good thing coming into this season, which is why I do have them at number 6 as well. So I'm in on the Kings this year. In the West, I think like 6, 7 seed is kind of a big deal, quite honestly, because it's not the East. You know what I mean? It's not the East where you
No,
can
man,
just kind of fall into a 6 seed in the Eastern
nah,
Conference.
man,
You're going to have to work for the 6 seed in the
nah,
West.
it's like you just said, it's not the East. We missed the playoffs last year. If we was in the Eastern Conference, we would have been the 4th seed.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's
That's
fucking crazy,
crazy.
man. You think about it, yeah. And
Let me ask
speaking
you
of,
this.
okay, go ahead.
Let me ask you this real quick, because D-Rab said this in the comments earlier. I'm not going to go all the way back up and find it, but he mentioned this. Maybe mixing the play-in teams together, and then that way you have Western Conference teams. It will never happen, by the way, because they're not going to want to let Western Conference teams get into the Eastern Conference playoff picture. But
Oh yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
is an interesting thought, though, to just take
Yeah, it
play-in
is.
teams
It
of the
is.
entire league rather than just the conference. You would probably have 4 Western Conference teams,
Mm-hmm.
maybe at least 3, though, I would imagine. So
Yeah.
that is an interesting thought. But what were you going to say? I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, I was about to say with the Kings too. Like it's kind of a similar situation, with your Sixers. So
Yeah.
we had this man. I swear, bro, I do not want to bring this guy up, but I have to. But okay, so PG. I mean, you go from a guy like Tobias to PG. That's an upgrade, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I was like, okay, well, you go from a guy like Harrison Barnes to DeMar. That's an upgrade.
Yeah.
I know you can argue
Yeah.
like fit wise that Harrison Barnes is a better 3-point shooter, which it is true. But overall, from an overall standpoint, I think DeMar DeRozan is obviously the better player. He can play make, create for himself, still get to the rim, get to the free throw line, and as well as DeMar DeRozan still one of the more clutch players in the league today. So
Yeah.
you add a guy like that alongside Darren Fox and Sabonis, I think that'll make some magic work over there.
It's so interesting, man, because it's like you said, you added like take the name away, take what you think about, his time in Chicago, San Antonio, whatever. You add a 24-point game score to the Sacramento Kings,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
For Harrison Barnes, that what he even average double digits last year? I
yeah.
mean, I'm not
Probably like
100%
11
sure.
points, something
Yeah,
like that.
something around there. Yeah. So to your point, yeah, you add a guy like that alone. Like just look at the numbers, right? And not the player and what we think of them. Um, you would say that's an excellent pickup. And I do think it is because you look at the numbers, man. He averaged 5 assists last year for Chicago, too. So he's going to make plays for other people. He's going to be able to get his own shot. And you mentioned the clutch factor. He's one of the most clutch players in the NBA because he can get his own shot from anywhere on the floor. And he's back in California. I know
That's
it's not
good.
LA. It's close
But
enough.
it's
It's
close to home.
California,
It's close to
back in
home.
his home state. So maybe he's a little more comfortable there this season as well, man. I'm excited for the Kings this year for sure.
Oh yeah.
So who do you have? I have the Kings at 6. Who do you got at 6, man?
So for me coming in at number 6, man, I told you that I'm going to be biased. So hey, I got the Golden State Warriors coming in at number
Okay,
6, man. It's going to be a
fair
fun
enough.
season for us, man. I can't wait. I'm going to go out there and say I think this is a year for Kaminga. I think he's going to have a breakout year, All Star type of year for sure.
Yeah,
But we all know what Steph is about. Hopefully, Draymond can, not get in any trouble, get suspended, and things like that, and we'll have a pretty good season. And as well as I think Andrew Wiggins returned back to that form he was 3 years ago to help us win a title. And as well as I just love the depth that we got, man.
yeah.
Guys like Kyle Anderson, Moses Moody, GP2 Looney, the list goes on and on. We got a nice team for sure. So it should definitely be a fun season for us, man.
Yeah, so you say you're a little biased. I don't know that that's true. I mean, I had them at 7, so I don't know that you're even being biased in a sense. But what is the Warriors ceiling? Like, what is your expectations? What are your expectations for them this season? Like, it's
Uh,
obviously not like championship or bust like it's been in previous years, but where would you like to see them get to realistically?
I would realistically like to see us just make the playoffs. I think that
Fair
for
enough.
us,
Fair enough.
man, if we could just make the playoffs, we'll put fear in the team because we're still the Warriors. Just the thought of that, like it's
That is a
Steph
fair
Curry,
point.
Draymond Green, like we still got those guys. So
Yeah.
and those guys, to be more exact, Draymond, I would.
Whoa. Not again. Let's get him back in here. Hopefully, he can hear me when he comes back in, or hopefully, I can hear him.
Yep. Yo.
Yo,
Yo.
Slim. So it's on my side. Hold on. I'm going to refresh.
Yo, yo.
Yeah. Man, that is really, really starting to piss me off, bro. I really don't know I don't know what is going on, like, when that shit happens. Because that
Yeah, I
shit
don't know
doesn't
if it's.
happen on my morning shows. It doesn't happen at all. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, it
yeah, I don't know if
don't
it's
make sense.
StreamYard or what, man. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know. Because, like, after you went off the screen, then, like, it just completely took my camera away, and then it took my mic away. Nonetheless, let's get this content in before it craps out again. I'm gonna have to figure something out. Maybe I just need to restart my MacBook or something so that doesn't happen. But we'll get that
Mm-hmm.
figured out before the next show to make sure that does not happen going forward. Nonetheless, we were talking about your Warriors. I asked you what's your expectations going into this season. What would be a successful season? I believe you were just talking about you were just wrapping up your point about basically no team
Yeah,
wanting to see the Warriors come to postseason. How it
yeah.
would be a
In the
negative.
first round, to be more exact. So, I was saying I was giving Draymond his props because he's one of those players that kind of steps it up in the postseason. So, yeah.
No, I do agree. Yeah, there is. Thank you, D-Rab, helping us in the comments, man, bearing with us there. I know we probably lost a couple viewers there with the internet interruption, but let's just hang in there with us. We'll get to our top five shortly. I'm actually going to get to my top five now because Slim just had the Warriors at 6. I had the Kings at 6. So at number 5, I'm curious if this surprises you or not, but I have the Denver Nuggets here at number 5. And
Really?
I almost felt like I was disrespecting them in a sense, but I also had to ask myself, what did they do to get better in the offseason? And I feel like they are also relying on some younger players that they expect to contribute in this season coming forward. You added Russell Westbrook. We'll see what that fit looks like ultimately, but I still have respect for Jokic. I still have respect for Jamal Murray when he plays. We'll see what Michael Porter Jr. looks like this season, if he can look any better than what he has. If he can just be more consistent for them, I think that would be a big thing for them. But I do worry for them, with just some of the subtractions that they've had over the last few years. Even losing like Bruce Brown, thought that hurt last off season, right? And I thought
Yeah.
that
Moving
um,
from
they
KCP.
looked a lot different, right? They relied a lot on guys like Christian Braun, which he looks solid at times, but he's a little inconsistent as well. So
Yeah.
they do got to build some consistency, but I do have 4 teams that I do like ahead of them in the West this year, man.
Yeah, I feel that, man. I don't think that it's a sign of disrespect because, I mean, back to back offseason, they lost two, huge pieces in helping them win the chip. Like you mentioned, Bruce Brown last year, and then this year, KCP. So
Yeah,
that was, definitely two huge losses for sure. Both fans to be more exact, because those guys were very vital in helping them win the chip. So, yeah. But for me, coming in at we had 5, right?
yeah, top
Yeah,
5.
so for me, coming in at number 5, man, I got the Minnesota Timberwolves. Just interested to see how this, duo of Ant Man. I know what Ant going to bring, but just want to see how him and Randall look together. And as
Yeah,
well as just interesting to see how both Randall and Rudy Gobert can both of them stay together on the floor long term. Because in terms of shooting, we all know Cat is a better shooter than Randall, but Randall is kind of like an inconsistent shooter from 3-point range to be more exact. So
yeah,
I think that they may have to elect to play him more with Nas Reed because Nas Reed can definitely space the floor for them. So yeah, but I got them coming in at number 4. I think the Ant Man is definitely going to take another leap. I like the addition that they add in the offseason, Joe Ingles, with the
yeah,
trade they brought in Dante, as well as the Rickers they got, Rob Dillingham and is it Terrence Shannon
yeah.
Jr. or something like that?
Terrence
Yeah.
Shannon Jr. So that
Uh,
was a steal. That was a steal in the draft, quite honestly. No, I like it. I like it. I think these top 5 teams, it's interesting. And I asked if I was disrespecting the Denver Nuggets, but no, I think all 5 of these teams, they could be mixed all around, quite honestly, now that I really think about it. But I like the Minnesota pick there at number 5 to start you off. Number 4 for me is going to be the Phoenix Suns, man. I'm actually fairly high on the Phoenix Suns this year. I loved what I saw from Devin Booker and KD in the Olympics, and I just feel like that chemistry can kind of continue into this season. I think they had a decently disappointing season last season, right? It just didn't look.
Yeah, getting swept in
It
the
didn't
first
look
round.
the way it was supposed to look, right? And they didn't make any noise in the postseason. But I'm hoping that this season KD can look a little more comfortable in his role. Devin Booker and just kind of playing off of KD, right? And Bradley Beal. You have Grayson Allen. I'm trying to think who was the big addition. Somebody's
We
slipping
got
my mind.
Tyus Jones,
Tyus Jones is the guy. You right, spot on.
Monte
That's the guy that
Morris.
they
They got
added.
some point guards in there.
Yeah, Tyus Jones is the one that I really like just to be that connector piece for all of these guys that can score the ball at an elite rate. I like Tyus Jones to be that setup, man. He's done it throughout his career, and he can obviously space the floor as well. He can shoot himself. So just having my Duke boys on the Phoenix Suns. Maybe that's why I'm high on them.
Scotty Drown, this guy here, bro.
Phoenix at 4 though, bro. Phoenix at 4. It isn't because of the Duke boys, I promise.
Yeah, I feel that. I like that pickup, man. For me, I mean pick not pickup, but for me, man, coming in number 4, I got the Denver Nuggets. Yeah, I mean you listed for all the right reasons. It's interesting to see, man, because I'm hearing, not too much, but kind of I've been seeing different reports as far as like Aaron Gordon is due for a contract extension. I think he looked for the max contract. I don't know if
Could be
the Denver.
traded.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to give it to him, but I will say this: if they were to lose him this next offseason, then that window is closed as far as them winning that championship. Because
Yeah.
then you would have lost 3 vital pieces to help them win the chip. So, yeah, that's something to definitely keep an eye on, man. His contract situation, but.
It's a very good
Nonetheless, you said all the right reasons. Like we all know what Jokic is about: 3-time league MVP, Finals MVP, NBA champion. Jamal Murray is one of those players that turns it on in the postseason. And MPJ, we know what he about too. So yeah, man, I got the Denver Nuggets coming in at number 4.
Yeah, and it's a respect thing. It's a pedigree thing with the Nuggets at this point. But I think you made a great point about Aaron Gordon and just how important he is. You could argue that Aaron Gordon is the most important out of like a KCP, a Bruce, right? Losing those guys. If you lost 3 of those guys in a row, I think Aaron Gordon is probably the best player out of those 3 as well.
Yeah,
so it would be your biggest loss as well. So that is an interesting point to keep an eye on because you are right. I do remember just a little whisper of could Aaron Gordon be moved? Like what's going to happen with Aaron Gordon? It's not necessarily like he's demanding a trade or anything like that. It's not like that.
Mm-hmm.
But just agreeing on what's best for both sides going forward is something that's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, right.
This season. So good point. I like that. Number 3 for me, man, I'm going to go with the defending Western Conference champions. I'm going to go with the Dallas Mavericks at number 3. I thought the additions, obviously, Klay Thompson. I mean, I think he's going to feel a little bit rejuvenated just being on a new team, new role, new expectations, new responsibilities with the team. He can be maybe, I don't want to say more of a leader, but he can be a leader in that Dallas Mavericks locker room with all the experience he'll bring over from Golden State. Obviously, another season with Kyrie and Luka playing together. That unison, you'll get Derek Lively in his second year this season, so we'll see what he develops into. But ultimately, the only reason, let me be clear here, the only reason that I don't have Dallas kind of, following up in at least at a 2 seed, right, or a 1 seed, is just because of the health concerns with Luka coming into the season already. We know that Luka is another guy that can get dinged up from time to time, maybe miss a few games here and there. Usually plays through it quite honestly. It seems like he plays through injuries quite often. But a lot of weight on his shoulders, man. And you do add Klay Thompson, so maybe that takes a little bit of the weight or a little bit of the stress off of his shoulders. But I don't like going into the season, with tweaks already. It's the same thing as like Paul George and the Sixers tweaking the knee. It's like it's not the end of the world, and I don't think Luka is dinged up too bad. I don't think he's going to miss a ton of time, but just the fact that you have to worry about it coming into the season is why they fall out of the top 2 for me. But I do think they're going to be just as dangerous come postseason.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that for sure. For me, man, coming in number 3, I got the Phoenix Suns. I love the additions of guys like Tyus Jones and Monte Morris. I mean, those guys' assist to turnover ratio is some of the best in the league. They don't turn the ball over, and but we all know they make plays. So yeah, adding guys like that is definitely what they need, like true point guards.
Yeah.
And as well as, man, I mean, I like what I seen from the rookie Ryan Dunn. Like he's the best defender in this draft class, and
Yeah.
he shot the ball pretty well in preseason. If he can keep it up, they're going to have a hard time keeping him off the floor. And as well as the addition of Coach Mike Budenholzer, I like that
Yeah.
addition as well. I think like from what I've seen, I don't want to take too much from it, but the way they move, like the different sets I'm seeing them run, it just kind of look different than last
It
season,
looks
man. So
more like their style. Yeah.
yeah, like cause I'm saying Nurkic, hitting threes now, like
Yeah.
things like that, making plays, taking the ball and dribbling all the way down the court, finishing at the rim, like things like that I really
Maybe a
didn't see
little more
last season.
freedom.
Yes, so and yeah, like all those additions, still got Ball. We'll see what they do with him. Grayson Allen, I think Bradley Beal will have a bounce back year. He just was dealing with a lot of health issues last season, so I think he's locked in and motivated. So that's why I had these guys as high as a seed as I do. And yeah, I got them coming in at number 3.
I think it's fair. Phoenix, I
Oh,
think.
they
Go
got
ahead.
another rookie, man. I don't know how to say his name. He's a center. I like his game too. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Ig
Yeah, him. Yeah.
Iguodaro.
Yeah, him. Yeah.
I might have butchered that. Don't hold me to that. Yeah, I haven't seen much of his play. I didn't get a chance to watch the Suns too much in the preseason, but I will definitely
He's
have
an
my eyes on
athletic
him
big. I'm sure you're
coming
going to
into
get
this
some
one.
run.
Yeah, they're going to be looking for answers at the big spot for sure. Nurkic is solid, but yeah, I don't know if you want him, playing heavy minutes. You're gonna want some type of a rotation there. So it'll be interesting, man. I think there's. It feels like people are sleeping on Phoenix coming into this season. Like they're
That's
just not
fair.
talked about too much.
That's fair.
Um, but they should be considered a championship contender, in my opinion. You have Kevin Durant and you have Devin Booker. Like you are a championship contender despite the disappointment from last year. It was Frank Vogel, right? Was their head coach last year? I'm
Yeah.
not tripping.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why it was so clunky. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense for sure. So I do like Mike
But
Budenholzer.
like
We
in
saw
Frank,
the
in
way.
Frank Vogel defensive though, like Frank Vogel is like a defensive mind type. That's just not
Yeah,
his type of team.
yeah.
That's more of an offensive orientated.
We saw Frank Vogel have success with the Lakers, right?
Yeah,
Like a defensive
defensive
oriented
orientated.
team with
Yeah,
AD in the
and
middle. Like, yeah,
Avery Bradley, Danny
I feel
Green.
you.
Guys like that. Dwight Howard. So
Yeah, no, I feel that for sure. Number 2, I mean, we can just go real fast here, and then we can just talk about them. You already talked about this team though, but Minnesota Timberwolves, I have at number 2 here. Ant Edwards, man, what does he look like this season? I'm
he
curious.
on that type of timing, man. For real, he on
Yeah,
that type of timing.
yeah. I'm curious what Ant Edwards is looking like this season. I am curious of the Randall fit with Ant
Yeah,
Edwards, like you talked about. It's interesting. I don't know if
it
it's gonna
is.
work
It
or
really
not.
is. It is, man.
I think by me having them at number 2, I'm saying it's gonna work. I'll say this. I do like the fit of Randall in Minnesota more than I like the fit of Randall in New York. Do I think that Randall's a better fit than Cat for Minnesota? I'm not going to go that far with this floor spacing that Cat possesses,
Yeah.
but it does give Minnesota like a different look in a sense, right? Like not a guy that's just going
Mhm.
to shoot threes at an excessive clip. Even though he can fall into that sometimes. Let me not get ahead of myself, Randall. He can
Oh
start
yeah,
that.
Randall, like he's the type of guy. Like he could be 0 for 10. He's not going to stop shooting the
Still gonna
ball.
let it
Man.
fly.
Yeah,
But
he's that type of
he can
guy.
get buckets elsewhere too. He does have a little bit of one-on-one game. He has a little bit of a bag that I think could come in handy for them when they get in tough spots where Ant's just getting double, triple teamed, not able to get into the lane and whatnot. So I do like the addition. We'll see if it ends up making them better than what they were with Cat. I think when you add in the Dante DiVincenzo addition with Julius Randle, makes it even more intriguing because he's another scoring punch threat. Don't know if he'll start, right? Like
He can. I'll
he
say this,
could
like
though.
Mike Conley. Yeah, like he can definitely. If they decide to bring Mike off the bench, he's getting older. I can see Dante being a starting point guard because then that would speed up the game. The way the
Yeah.
game is nowadays, fast paced. Everybody looking to push the pace. So.
So that's interesting. You still got Nikhil Alexander Walker. You mentioned Rob Dillingham, obviously comes with the pedigree. Um, the guy that I'm excited for more, though, the rookie I'm excited for more. And I'm not dissing Rob Dillingham. I like him as a player as well. I love Terrence Shannon Jr. He had the court case coming into the draft that really just messed with all of his draft value. Teams were afraid to take him. And the Minnesota Timberwolves, I think they got blessed by getting him on the roster. And I do think he will carve out a role on this team by the end of the season. We'll see. He does. I will say this. He does have overlapping skill set and abilities to some of the other players on the roster. So we'll see. But Jaden McDaniels, you mentioned Joe Ingles. That's going to be an underrated signing this offseason. I think his playmaking ability added to that. Just a smart player, right? Naz Reid, what does he look like this year? Rudy Gobert, though, he is the detractor, I guess. Like when you start feeling so good about the T-Wolves, maybe you do, maybe you don't. But when I start feeling so good about the T-Wolves, Rudy Gobert creeps back into my mind just to let me know, like, do you make the decision to like bench this man at times in the season? I guess is what I'm thinking. Like, even though his contract money he's making for them, there's just sometimes where Naz Reid is the better starting play. You know what I mean? So I'm curious what they do this year because you saw it last year in the postseason. They weren't afraid to put him on the bench for a long period of time, long periods and long stretches of time. So will be interesting to see how they handle Rudy Gobert this year. But I did go with Minnesota at 2. Who do you got, my man?
Yeah, I feel that. For me, man, I got the Dallas Mavericks coming in number 2. Obviously, seeing my guy Klay Thompson leave, it still hasn't hit me yet. I don't know if the emotions would kind
So
of come out.
weird.
I don't know if the emotions would kind of come out if I actually see us play them. It's just like you said, it is weird just to see him with another jersey on. To be more exact, with another number on, like 31, man, like
I didn't
that's
even think
just
about that. Yeah, that's a
yeah, that's
weird
just
number
so
too.
weird, bro. Like seeing Klay wearing 31, like dang,
Even,
but
what did he say why he's wearing that number? Do you know by chance?
um. Reggie Miller, his favorite player.
That's where my mind went immediately when you said 31, Reggie
Yeah,
Miller.
Reggie Miller, his favorite player. So that's kind
Makes
of a
sense.
number. So
That's pretty tough, actually. I like it. I
yeah, it
like that.
is. But Jason Terry blessed him. Gave him a nod so he can wear it or whatnot. So
True. Yeah. I
yeah,
forgot
but
about this Perry.
yeah, man, I think Clay will have a good year for the Dallas Mavericks. I ain't saying like I don't know all NBA All Star type of season, but he's definitely going to like the thing with Clay. Like Clay can be like 0 for 8. Teams still going to respect him because that's still Clay
Yeah.
Thompson. You're not
Yeah.
going to sag off him as much. So yeah, I think the addition of that alongside Kyrie and Luke should be nice. As well as like, I think live they're gonna take another leap, from a playmaking standpoint. And we all seen that he can kind of shoot the ball as well. So I think they give him
Yeah.
the freedom that he could, take more threes this year. Not as much, but more than he did. And yeah, man, I tell you this, I love the addition of Najee Marshall. That's an underrated
Yeah.
pickup.
Man.
That's a Swiss
I didn't
Army
mention
knife.
that.
That's a
That
Swiss.
slipped my
He
mind.
can literally do it all, bro. Like that's an
Yeah.
underrated pickup for them, as well as Quentin Grimes. I like his play. 3-and-D type
Bring
of
toughness.
prospect.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3-and-D type of prospect. Yeah, man, they got a nice team over there. A lot of depth. Jason Kidd, head coach. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm very high on this team. Obviously they didn't just perform to the standards that a lot of us thought they would in the finals, but that's okay. I think they're going to be better. They added better pieces.
Yeah.
PJ Washington, they'll be better. Gafford. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll be way better this season.
Get Hardaway Jr. out of there. Yeah, no, it's a great point. And you still got guys like Gafford, like you mentioned, and then PJ Washington, who are now going to be in their second full season, right? Like, no,
Right,
they didn't
right,
even
right.
get a full season last year, is what I'm trying to say. They'll get a full off season to play together with Luca. So it can only get better as far as chemistry with those guys as well. So, yeah, Najee Marshall, that one slipped my mind, man. I'm glad you called that out because that is a huge addition. And I feel like a lot more people are going to know his name after this
I'd
season with
say
the
this though,
Mavericks.
Scotty. Do you view him as an upgrade over Derrick Jones Jr.? I'm gonna give you my answer. I'm gonna say yeah. I think that's an upgrade in my
Yeah,
opinion. Yeah,
yeah. I
because he
think he's more
brings more to the
consistent.
table. He's more because he's a better shooter.
Yeah,
Obviously, Derrick Jones got him beat athleticism wise, but I think Marshall is like the better overall player. He can make plays. He can even put the
yeah.
ball on the floor if needed to be. So
Yeah, no, I agree. I liked what I saw in New Orleans from him. And I know that was a guy, as a Sixers fan, I had my eyes on him this offseason as well, as kind of like a consolation prize if you don't get Paul George or even Caleb Martin. So Najee Marshall is a quality player, and you add him to a team that went to the finals last year. Um, Once again, just Luka, just stay in shape, man. Stay healthy this season. Take care of your body and get to the postseason fully healthy. And they're gonna be a hard team to handle. I'm with you. So it sounds like we got the same number one seed. Seems like we got the same number one seed. I'm glad I'm not alone in this. I'm glad I'm not alone because there's part of me that
you
feels like the
alone? Are
Oklahoma
you
City.
alone? You
Am
alone?
I?
Yeah.
Am I?
Yeah, I got to go and stay. No, I'm just playing. I got OKC, man. We got OKC.
I was like, nah, you can't go back. You already said the Warriors, dog.
Oklahoma
Like, nah.
City, man. Let's go.
Yeah,
Volleyball
bro.
season.
I'm telling you, I'll put it out there right now, bro. And I want to know if you feel the same. This team can win the NBA championship this season, like right now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, you add a guy like Alex Caruso, NBA champion. He knows what it takes. You bring in a guy like Isaiah Hartenstein, exactly the type of player they needed.
Yeah,
As well
they
as
needed
Jalen
a big.
Williams, he's only going to continue to get better. We've seen the type of season he had last season.
Yeah,
We know what SGA about. I'm sure Chet going to be in his bag more offensively this season. So yeah, man, I'm with you. They still got Lou Dort. Man, they got a lot of guys on their team that can play,
Isaiah
man.
Joe.
Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins.
Yep.
Like my God, bro. Like they're and the crazy, they are so young, but then again, it don't
Yeah.
feel like it though.
I mean, they add Hartenstein, and he's like a vet. He's 26 years old. Even he's not that old. Like SGA 26. So yeah, you got a squad here.
I
Casey
think
Wallace contributed last year.
Caruso may be the oldest player on their team, coming in at 30 years old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, easily. And then, well, no, not easily. Kyrie Williams is 29, so two oldest players right there. But yeah, they're just so young. And SGA, man, like, is he done getting better? Like, can he like shoot just a few more threes this year at a little bit higher clip? Like that's the only thing I can really think of off the top of my head that would really take his game to the, like, not the next level, but just to I guess to the next level, right? Just expanding the range a little bit. But you don't want him to lose that mid-range bag. That's what makes him so deadly. Get into the
Yeah,
free
get to
throw
the
line,
foul
getting in the
line. Yeah.
paint. Yeah. So it's not that I want him to just start jacking up threes, but just maybe add a little bit more consistency to it. But maybe you don't have to with this roster around you, bro. Like you mentioned Jalen Williams, like what can he elevate to this season? Can he elevate to an all-star? Like, is it possible?
Yeah, definitely possible. Yeah.
If they're a one seed, why
Yeah,
not?
if he averaging like 20, you're the number one seed. I don't see how he's not an all-star.
Yeah. Chet? What's Chet look like this year?
So, yeah, all defensive team, maybe.
Yeah.
Defense player of the year candidate.
I think their youth is also what gives me, like, just getting through an 82 game season. Like, you got so much depth on this squad. And you mentioned Isaiah Hartenstein. He was just the perfect fit for this team. Like he's a good passer. He has a little floater at the top of the lane. Big body, can get rebounds, can defend, plays very smart. That's what they added. They added veterans and smart physical defensive minded players like Caruso, like Hartenstein. So I do love the Oklahoma City Thunder this year, and I'm glad we're on the same page. So that might have been that in Houston might have been the only two things that we had alike in this list. It's not a bad thing though. I think it just speaks to the variance of the Western Conference. And funny thing, man, we didn't. I know you had the Memphis Grizzlies in there, and I didn't have them in mind. I'm trying to think.
Yeah. So
the Clippers.
Yeah, I was going to say the Clippers and the Spurs.
Spurs are like They're like in the same category as the Rockets for me in a sense. The Rockets a
Yeah, I
little
was
bit higher than
saying.
the Spurs. A
Yeah, I was
little.
finna name teams that didn't really make it for me was Blazers, Utah, Clippers, Lakers, and the Spurs. So yeah, 5 teams that didn't make the cut.
Oh, okay, so the Lakers and Grizzlies is where we differentiated. That was the only one.
Yeah, that was.
And then, yeah, so the Clippers, obviously Kawhi's injury, that changes their, their outlook a lot. Obviously, you got
Yeah,
James
man.
Harden still there, but
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I
not
want to get
enough.
James Harden like rewind the clock. Can't if not average 30 maybe, can he go on like a stretch away he averaged 30 like 2 whole
Yeah,
weeks? He averaged like 32 points.
yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
It's interesting. I just don't know if he has that in him. And then even if he does have that in him, how long, like you said, it's a spurt. How long can he go on like that at this age? Very interesting team, man. But yeah, they've fallen out of the light in the Western Conference very, very fast.
Yeah, man.
The Trailblazers just too young. They don't, just not enough experience for them to get into the West picture. Utah is interesting. I mean, you got Lauri
They
Markkanen,
had some impressive wins last season on some teams.
but the West once again just so stacked, man. Picked up Kyle Filipowski. Keontae George should have a nice season this year. Walker Kessler added Patty Mills. Colin Sexton's still there. So they got a couple guys on there, but just not enough to get into the postseason scene in the West for me. But any other teams that you wanted to hit on before we move to All-Star picks and then we get up out of here?
I think we pretty much covered everything. I don't think that. Let me make sure though. Yeah, I mean, you said the Jazz.
Yeah, Jazz, Portland.
Yeah. The
Clippers.
Clippers. That's what I wanted to say. Man, do you think that Kawhi should maybe consider retiring at this point?
Let me check something here real quick. So he
Because
played
I know
68
like
games
it's
last
not
year.
really his fault, but man, it's like the Clippers organization. Like, I mean, what has he done for them for the 6 or 7 years he's been with them?
Yeah.
And he's making top dollars. You wonder when they're going to hit that button and like, okay, we're going to move on from you.
And
But
what does that look like? Like, is he like obviously you'll take Kawhi on your team, but like at what cost?
yeah, right. I was just finna say that. Yeah, what costs?
He's 33. It's constant knee problems. Like it's not just injuries, it's
Yeah,
leg
it's them
injuries.
knees. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the
And
knees,
he's a
man.
guy that relies on his athleticism to a certain
Yeah,
extent.
like defender.
That's not a bad question, man. It's not a bad question unless he can like evolutionize his game to take take some of the weight off of his legs and the way he plays. But that's the thing with this team, with this Clippers team, everything's going to be on his shoulders.
Facts.
So
Everything.
I don't know, man. It's tough. James Harden, we'll see what level he can get to this season. I am interested to see that because that is a huge opportunity for him to kind of reestablish himself. But yeah, the Clippers falling very quickly. It can happen to anybody though, so I'm not going to hate on them too much. Let's get into the All-Star team and get out of here, Slim. We've been on here for an hour and 20, but we had some technical difficulties. Hopefully we can get those ironed out going forward.
Yeah.
But I will do you want to go first or you want me to go first? Starting five.
Can you remember who went first last time? I'm trying to see, was it me or you? I think it was me. Yeah, it was me that went first. So you go first this time. Yeah.
All right, I got you. So I went point guard. I went SGA. I think OKC is going to have the best record in the West. So I just am kind of correlating it in that fashion.
Okay.
Luka Doncic starting, obviously Dallas Mavericks. LeBron, he's still playing at a top level. You know what I mean? Like he's still a popular player. He's gonna make the All-Star team and start. The reason I hesitate, I'm trying to disrespect LeBron by any means.
Yeah.
This is a stacked West. There's going to be guys that get left out of starting because LeBron's in the starting lineup, but Nonetheless,
Yeah.
I did go with LeBron. I went with KD from Phoenix, obviously. And then I went with Jokic at center. So
Yeah, I feel that. That's a nice team right there. But yeah, as far as like LeBron goes, like I feel like as long as he's in the West, he's gonna start regardless, and he's gonna get a lot of love from his fans as well as his
yeah,
peers. So
yeah,
I ain't mad at it because what he doing at his age is, you gotta respect that. So,
yeah, absolutely.
but yeah, man, basically the same backcourt for me. SGA at the one, Luke at the two. For me, man, I put Anthony Edwards at the three. I got him at the three. And this is where
Feel it.
this position that I got right here is kind of where things got kind of interesting. But I had to go with KD, man, because the way I got my standings, I got the Suns as a high seed, so it's only right for me to reward KD as a starting power forward on this team, and then obviously I got Joker coming in at the center spot.
Yeah. See, and that's ultimately why I hesitated when I said LeBron. It's not that LeBron doesn't deserve it. It's that I want Ant Edwards in the starting line. Like
Yeah,
that's
he
all
had
it
that.
is.
Yeah,
Like that's all it
yeah,
is.
he had that.
Um, LeBron puts numbers, like you said, he's gonna have the popular vote for sure. Um, no AD though for either of us, which is interesting.
Yeah, I can't put him over Jokic, man. I can't do
Yeah, yeah,
that.
me either. Me
With
either.
all due respect.
I had briefly thought about him in power forward, but you're right. He's gonna play center for them this year, and yeah, he's not going in over Jokic. But he was the first guy I did have on my bench here. Um, so
So,
on,
how many reserves do we have to have?
so I have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 just to make
Okay,
the
that'll
full
that'll
12.
work out. That'll work out. Yeah.
So I'll give you my first 5 I have written down here. So I have Anthony Davis, as I mentioned. De'Aaron Fox. He's a guy that I'm excited to see what he can do this year, especially with DeRozan out there. Anthony Edwards, obviously. Then I went Victor Wembanyama, and I went Steph Curry.
Hmm. So we got a lot of things similar. I got Steph, D Fox, Booker, Brian, AD. That's my first 5.
Man, you know what? I gotta make a correction here. I completely forgot one of the guys. Yeah, Booker. Yeah, I completely forgot about Devin Booker.
Ah man.
But yeah, he's making it. Just to be clear, I took my
Yeah,
last guy off and I put Booker on. Yeah, I should have had him on there. Good
yeah,
call.
Booker. Yeah, yeah, book man. Gotta show love the book. But so it's 7 reserves. Is that right?
Yeah, 7 reserves. So my other 2. So I had AD, De'Aaron Fox, Ant Edwards, Victor, Steph, Zion, and then now Devin Booker.
Okay, so for me, the other 2 guys, I got Wimby, and then I got Jonathan Kaminga. It's only right I show love, man. I,
Okay,
I
okay.
think that, and then plus, you gotta also keep in mind that we will be hosting the All Star game this year. So
That's
hopefully,
fair. If he
hopefully
has
we,
that
yeah, hopefully,
elevation.
yeah, hopefully, Steph Curry can have a teammate to go out there with him, and I think that this is the season for him. So yeah,
That is
guys,
I like that pick, man. Not even from like a biased standpoint. He very well could make it. I do believe
yeah,
that.
he could, yeah. Curry, Fox, Booker, Brown, AD,
How do you
Kaminga,
feel about
Wimby.
John Morant?
He's on my honorable mention list. I think he'll
Likewise.
get back to it, but I don't think that he's just going to ease his way back into the All Star game like that because he's definitely had to put in some work because there's definitely guys over him right now that's
Yeah. And
I
he
won't
might not be
necessarily say
the most
definitely
popular right
deserving,
now
but
either.
yeah, but you get what I'm saying though. So yeah,
Yeah. Laurie Markkinen, another guy that I thought about.
I got Sabonis too, man. He's
It's a
another guy.
bonus. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Good call on that. He deserves recognition as well. It's so hard, man, because I didn't even mention like Kyrie
bro.
Irving,
I
for
told you,
example.
like, dude, like the people that's probably not going to make the team, like, they
Make their own
literally, yes, they can make their own team. Like,
and compete. Like,
yes,
no, I do feel it
you
because
talking about
there's
the
so
likes of
many
Kyrie
guys.
Irving, Shangoon, DeMar DeRozan, John Morant, Sabonis. If Kawhi Leonard have to Kawhi, who else I'm missing here, man? You get the picture, though, man. It's a lot of guys in Western Conference that can, really pop off for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. That's what made the bottom of the list a little bit harder.
Zion
The household
Williamson.
names were easy. Obviously, I did slip up on Devin Booker. I feel like he is a household name at this point.
Yeah, I gotta give Book his props.
But yeah, I think like SGA, Luca, LeBron, KD, Jokic, AD, Ant, Steph. Those are the guys, and then Devin Booker. I would say those are the guys that I would like lock in to make the team. The others, just a feeling maybe. The guys like Wemby. Wemby should make it though. Like quite honestly,
Yeah, I don't
he
see
should.
why. Yeah, there's no reason that he shouldn't make it. Like,
With
I don't
Chris
care.
Paul, his numbers
Like, what
should
the
go up.
record is. Like, if he's gonna put up like amazing numbers, you send him to the All-Star game. It'll
Yeah,
be fun to see a guy like that in the All-Star game
yeah.
anyway. So
A young guy like that, man. Can he put San Antonio back on the map? Be a very interesting season in the Western Conference, man. Across the NBA, it gets started tomorrow. We're gonna have the NBA action tipping off
yes,
with
man,
a
we
few
back,
marquee
man, we
matchups.
back.
We are so back, bro. Like it's so nice. I'm gonna have like late night basketball games that I can watch at the end of my nights. I can like if I want to fall asleep to basketball, I can. If I want to wake up, I can
Yeah,
wake
man.
up to the basketball highlights if I can. Like
Yeah,
it's all coming back, bro. I'm
it's
so
all coming
excited.
back, man. Yeah.
So we will be back here either Friday or Saturday. We got to figure out schedule wise what's going to work to get back here and just recap the first week of basketball for you guys.
Yeah,
Kind of go
that'll
over
be
what
fun.
we've
Yeah.
seen. So we'll definitely get the stream set up. Turn your notifications on. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video to help us grow here on NBA to the Galaxy Pod. Be sure to give my buddy Jeremy here, also known as Slim, a follow on X at RTR30111. You can find me at Scotty Drown. You can find the pod at To the Galaxy Pod on X. And we will be back later this week to recap the first week of NBA action. Hopefully, no internet connection troubles, no stream
Yeah,
connection
man.
troubles. I'm going to try to get that ironed out so we don't have any more mishaps with that going forward. But I appreciate all of you that hung in there with us, kept watching, and stayed active in the comments. We appreciate you all. And before we get out of here, Slim, you got anything else for the people?
Not really. Oh, well, tomorrow, since it'll be Celtics versus the Knicks and then the Lakers versus the Timberwolves. So yeah, tap into those games, man. It should definitely be interesting for sure.
Who do you got winning those games? Just off the top of your
I
head.
was gonna ask you that. Dang, nice way to put me on the spot, but I'm gonna go Boston, man. I'm not going to disrespect the defending champs like that because we've been hearing a lot of
In
things about the New
Boston,
York
too.
Knicks. So
Yeah.
yeah, I gotta go with the Celtics, and then obviously I gotta go with the Timberwolves. I mean, come on, man, the Lakers, like, get out of here, bro.
A little Laker hate for D-Rab on the way out from Slim. I respect it, man. You go hard with it. I respect it. But I was gonna say the Knicks, but then I thought about it. This is a good opportunity for the Celtics to kind of make a statement to
Oh
start the
yeah, for
season
sure, yeah, for
at
sure, yeah.
home. Banners going up. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'll go with the Celtics, and I will also go with the Timberwolves in LA. But it's a good game for the Lakers to try to put people on notice to start the season, right? Go out there and beat the Minnesota Timberwolves. So
Yeah,
we'll
facts,
see
yeah.
what happens. It
We'll
should
see
be
how it
good.
goes.
All right, Slim. All right, viewers. Thank you all for watching. We will see you on the next stream. Hope to
We
have
out.
some fun. Peace.